Hey guys, this is Bumblebee85 coming at you again with another video review. Marvel Legends. This is a classic look packaging of Wolverine. Now these packaging are supposed to take after the 1990s vintage Marvel cards that were out at the time, and me as a kid I never actually owned any of them, so I have nothing to compare it with. But I'm sure there's other reviewers out there that can show you the difference or the similarities of the packaging. But it's cool how Marvel Legends decided, or Hasbro decided, to give us a vintage look at these packaging in the updated 6-inch form figures. So they really throw it back with some vintage stars and bubbles and banners and stuff like that. And with the imaging on the actual card itself is like from an old vintage comic and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. And he's got his iconic claws, as it says down here. And he's just in this bubble form packaging here. On the back, it really looks vintage to me. This is, with this kind of drawing, just looks very old looking, the card itself. And then we have Wolverine print here with a little write up here. Razor sharp extendable claws are the iconic weapons of the fierce fighting Wolverine. Now you also can collect these other figures here. There's a Captain America, Black Widow, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Punisher. There's not too many differences with these figures overall. Captain America has some cool chainmail paint on his upper torso there, which looks kind of cool, and he comes with that throwing effect shield. Black Widow, I think it's the first time we've gotten her in the updated Marvel Legends forms, but she's coming out later on down the road with a motorcycle, and I'm sure we will get a better head instead of this Mary Jane head reuse of the Mary Jane head from the Spider-Man 2-pack. So we'll get a better version of her, so I'm not going to bother collecting her. Iron Man himself has some newer lower legs, but he's still too small to be a man in a suit, or an iron suit, so I already have the original version, so there's no real reason for me to pick this version up anyway. Spider-Man is basically just a slight repaint of the newest Spider-Man that has the pizza-eating Spider-Man that had came out. So he again comes with, I think, a slice of pizza and an unmasked mask, so an unmasked head, so there's nothing too crazy about that paint job. The Punisher comes with, I think, a red bandana and the bazooka, but he already came with that bazooka or rocket launcher. The only difference is you get like the red bandana on his alternate head sculpt. So there's not too much. The skull is, I heard, a little bit different too, so there's no real reason to. And I just got that Punisher, like he just came out and was a Walgreens exclusive, but we're getting these at our EB Games here in Canada, but I actually found this one at Toys R Us. I haven't seen these at EB Games, so check your local EB Games and hopefully you can find this guy. So enough blabbering, let's get him out of the packaging and show him off to you. And here we have Wolverine out of the packaging. Now this is the same mold that we've gotten with our previous Wolverine that we just got in that Juggernaut Build-A-Figure wave. So there's a few differences between the previous Wolverine and this one, but this one I think is the one that's going to take first spot on my display shelf now. Now he does come with a couple accessories, an alternate head. We've seen this head before. Here's an alternate head. Now we've seen this head before. It actually has some blue highlights painted in through there, the black. Nice blue eyes and a little 5 o'clock shadow. Very. This head is actually painted differently than the head that we've already had this head before, but it's now painted differently. So that's kind of cool. And we've had this piece a couple times now over. It's just the mask that you put on over his neck, and to make it look like that his mask is hanging off the back of his head. So you can use that with the head sculpt there that we get. Painted well. And now I'll quickly show the figure off himself. He's got, first thing you'll notice is obviously his claws, and they are removable just like previous Wolverines. These claws are painted a little bit better than the previous Wolverine claws that we've had, but not as well as the previous to that Wolverine claws. And I'll show those off quickly as we go through it. But I'm not going to really go over his articulation. If you've seen anybody else's, it's typical Marvel Legend articulation. He does have great head back, so I enjoy that. And he can look down. So those are some really nice features that the Wolverine has. He's got a great sculpt. Stubby. Now he does have one cool feature that the previous Wolverine that we've gotten did not have, and his arms are painted with hair actually on them, and our previous one didn't have that. And he is a brighter yellow and a lighter brown, so I like this color. This color reminds me more of the tan original coloring of Wolverine. Now I'll quickly show him off here with some other Wolverines. We'll keep the stand there. Now this is the previous Wolverine. You can tell he's darker, and the claws are really plastic-y looking compared to these. The new ones are a little more silver. I don't know if it's coming up, and you can tell the difference in the browns and the yellows. Those are those two. Now this is another Wolverine. This is the same matching head sculpt and neck piece. We've gotten these pieces before with this Wolverine here, and you can tell he's got brighter blue eyes on the older one, but he doesn't have that 5 o'clock shadow. And he doesn't have that blue wash in his hair like this new one does. But these are the better looking claws. These are like a good silver looking claw. Let's see if we can see that. Yeah, see, they're just a better silver looking claw. But even before that, we had this Dakin figure, which actually gave us, this is an older Marvel Legend figure from Hasbro in the brown suit, Wolverine's son here. And he's got the bone claws, and that's one thing we haven't gotten, which I wish we would get, is a bone clawed version of Wolverine. Some alternate hands with some cool swirly bones when he lost his adamantium from the Magneto saga thing there going on. It would have been really cool to get him some alternate hands that way, so that it gives us an excuse to buy yet another Wolverine. But yeah, like I said, we've had this piece, and even this tan color with the brown, I like this color more than what we're getting out of those last two. And here is Toy Biz's version of the brown suited Wolverine. He had some nice arm hair painted on there. And I really enjoyed this. He had the butterfly joints. He had great up and down movement. He was nice and stubbier. I find the Wolverine might be a little too muscular. Like, I know he's supposed to be short and stocky, but I just feel like that's bodybuilder material there, and that's hard to portray as a realistic looking body. But I like this brown proportion wise. I think fit a little bit better. I could be wrong. Let me know what you guys think and which one out of all these Wolverines are your favorite. Mr. Snowman, I think, agrees with me on now he will be the main displayed Wolverine on my shelf. Let's look at all the Wolverines. Now, he is costing a little bit more than the typical Marvel Legends. These were $35 or $36 Canadian, and they don't come with a Build-A-Figure piece like the other one would have, with the Juggernaut piece to form to build that huge Juggernaut. And he does come with an alternate head and this mask piece here, but I don't think it's worth an extra $5 to be paying, and you don't get the added Build-A-Figure piece. I know you get the vintage packaging, and maybe that's what they're trying to sell us, but I really don't give a crap about the packaging. All my packaging ends up going in the garbage anyway. So that's been a look at the new Marvel Legends Vintage Series Carded Wolverine. See, I just ripped it right out. Didn't even care. I might keep the card itself, but I don't need the bubble attached to it. But that's the Marvel Legend Iconic Claws Wolverine. This is Bumblebee85 saying, enjoy the holidays, as Mr. Snowman and I are off to have a drink. Responsibly, kids. Responsibly.